Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find enough change for a cup of coffee, and bam. You pull out a penny that could buy you a mansion. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about a 1990 Lincoln penny that's worth a staggering $1.8 million. That's right, a single cent that could make you a millionaire. And before you go tossing that pocket change back into the jar, you might want to stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to spot this rare gem hiding in plain sight. So, let's get down to business. What makes this 1990 Lincoln penny so special? Well, it all comes down to one tiny, missing detail, the mint mark. Normally, Lincoln pennies from 1990 should have a little D or S under the date, indicating they were minted in Denver or San Francisco. But every once in a while, the US Mint makes a little oopsie, and a few coins slip through without that crucial mint mark. And that, my friends, is what makes this penny worth more than most people's houses. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, so it's missing a letter, big deal. But here's the thing. Coin collectors love mistakes. The rarer the error, the higher the value. And in the case of the 1990 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny, it's one of the rarest out there. Only a handful of these pennies have been confirmed, making them incredibly desirable to collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. Literally. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, sifting through an old shoebox full of coins. The owner was selling them for $1 a handful. Now, I don't know about you, but I never turn down a good deal, especially when there's potential treasure involved. I scoop up a handful, pay my dollar, and head home. Later that night, I start going through my haul, and guess what? I find an odd-looking 1990 penny with no mint mark. My heart nearly stopped. Could this be the penny? Long story short, after a lot of research and a little heartbreak, it turned out to be a regular OL 1990 penny. But that experience taught me a valuable lesson. Always check your change because you never know when you might hit the jackpot. Now, let's talk about what you should do if you think you've found one of these rare pennies. First, grab a magnifying glass and check under the date. If there's no mint mark, don't celebrate just yet. You'll want to get it authenticated by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can determine if your penny is the real deal and give it an official grade, which affects its value. And speaking of value, let's break down the numbers. A regular 1990 penny is worth, well, a penny. But a 1990 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny in top condition? That baby has sold for up to $1.8 million at auction. Even lower-grade versions can fetch tens of thousands. So yeah, checking your pennies might just be worth your time. Alright, coin hunters, that's the scoop on the legendary 1990 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Who knew that something so small could be worth so much? Now, before you run off to dump out your piggy banks, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another coin collecting tip. I've got plenty more money-making coin strategies coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. And hey, if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Have you ever checked your pocket change and wondered if you're holding a small fortune? Well, today, we're talking about a penny, a regular OL 1989 Lincoln cent. That's worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single cent, worth nearly $2 million bucks. And the kicker? It doesn't even have a mint mark. That's right. No little D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, nothing. Just a plain, unsuspecting penny that could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, and a lifetime supply of tacos. So, grab your magnifying glasses, empty out those coin jars, and let's dive into what makes this 1989 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny so valuable. Plus, I've got a personal story that might just make you rethink how you handle your spare change. First, let's break it down. The 1989 Lincoln cent was struck primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, which typically does not place a mint mark on pennies. So, most 1989 pennies you'll find in circulation don't have one. But what makes this particular penny different? Well, it all comes down to a minting error. Somewhere in the coin-making process, something went wrong. Or very right, if you're the lucky person who found it. Experts believe this specific penny has an ultra-rare misstrike combined with a unique composition anomaly. Essentially, it wasn't made with the usual copper-plated zinc, but instead struck on a bronze planchet that was left over from the early 1980s. And since the US Mint officially stopped using bronze for pennies in 1982, this little error is a big, big deal. Now, here's where the story gets wild. In 2024, a lucky collector stumbled upon this rare beauty at an estate sale. The penny was tucked away in an old coffee can full of random coins, proof that grandma's junk might just be your retirement plan. The lucky buyer, not knowing what they had, took the coin to a dealer for appraisal. And boom, the discovery shook the numismatic world, leading to a record-breaking auction price of $1.9 million. That's the kind of luck we all need, right? Let's talk condition. If you're hunting for valuable coins, condition is king. Grading services like PCGS and NGC rank coins on a scale from poor P1 all the way up to mint state MS 70. This 1989 penny? It was graded MS 67, meaning it was nearly pristine. If you've got a 1989 penny, check for luster, sharp details, and minimal wear. Even if it's not the $1.9 million jackpot, a high-grade version can still be worth thousands. But what if I have a 1989 penny? How do I know if it's the rare one? Simple. First, check for weight. Normal 1989 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, while this rare one weighs around 3.1 grams due to its bronze composition. Second, look at the color. If it has a richer, deeper tone than your average penny, you might be onto something. And third, if you're still unsure, take it to a professional, because the last thing you want is to spend a $1 million penny on a gumball. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost lost out on a valuable coin myself. A few years back, I was at a flea market, digging through an old box of coins a guy was selling for $1 each. I picked up a 1943 steel penny. Looked neat, felt different, but I didn't think much of it. Paid my buck and tossed it in my pocket. Later that day, I stopped for coffee, pulled out some change, and guess what? That same 1943 steel penny almost ended up in the tip jar. Thankfully, the barista was one of those people who actually checks their change, and she stopped me. She said, "Hey, did you know this is a steel penny from World War II?" I played it cool, like, of course I did. But internally, I was sweating. Took it home, looked it up, and while it wasn't a rare variation, it was still worth about $75. Way more than the coffee I was about to trade it for. Moral of the story? Always check your change, and never underestimate the power of a penny. Oh, what's the lesson here, folks? That penny sitting in your couch cushions could be your ticket to financial freedom. The 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny proves that numismatic treasures are still out there, just waiting to be discovered. Who knows? Maybe the next $1 million penny is hiding in your pocket right now. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, rare finds, and strategies for building your collection, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And if you've got an interesting coin story, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Would you believe me if I told you that this tiny little penny, a coin most people wouldn't even glance at, could be worth $1 million? No, seriously. There's a rare version of the 1988 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and if you've got one, well, let's just say you might want to call your bank before you go grocery shopping. Today, we're diving deep into the wild world of rare coins, specifically the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, its history, and why it's making collectors go absolutely bonkers. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just start looking at your pocket change a whole lot differently. Alright, let's set the scene. It's 1988. Big hair, mixtapes, and neon everything. The US Mint was cranking out billions of pennies as usual, but here's where things get weird. Some of those pennies, specifically from the Philadelphia Mint, were produced without a mint mark. Now, normally, Philadelphia pennies from this era wouldn't have one, but this particular era variety is something truly special. So what makes this penny worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills? The answer lies in a tiny detail: the font style of the FG initials on the back of the coin, near the Lincoln Memorial. Some 1988 pennies were mistakenly made with the reverse design intended for the 1989 penny. That's right. The government goofed, and now collectors are losing their minds trying to find these rare coins. Think of it like getting a brand new iPhone. But instead of the latest model, you accidentally get one that still has the old charging port. That kind of mix-up doesn't happen often, and when it does, it becomes a collector's dream. Now, let's talk money. The highest recorded sale of a verified 1988 no mint mark penny? A jaw-dropping $1 million. That's right, a penny, worth $1 million. Meanwhile, I just found 37 cents in my couch cushions and got excited about it. Grab a magnifying glass. If you don't have one, squint really hard. Flip the penny over and look at the FG initials. If they look different than a standard 1988 penny, you might be in business. Compare it to known images online, or better yet, take it to a professional coin dealer. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was rummaging through a jar of pennies I'd been hoarding for, let's just say, too long. I decided to look through them, thinking maybe I'd find a wheat penny or two. What did I find instead? A 1988 penny. My heart skipped a beat. I grabbed my magnifying glass, examined it closely, and nope, just a regular, everyday penny. The disappointment was real. But hey, that's part of the fun. It's like a treasure hunt. Sometimes you strike gold, or, in this case, copper-coated zinc, and sometimes you just end up with a pile of changed so. What did we learn today? First, always check your change, because you never know when you might be holding a $1 million penny. Second, mistakes at the mint can sometimes work in our favor, especially if you're a collector. And third, investing in a good magnifying glass might be one of the smartest financial decisions you make this year. If you found this video helpful, entertaining, or if you're now running to check every penny in your house, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more coin hunting tips, tricks, and crazy stories coming your way. And hey, if you do find that $1 million penny, remember who told you about it first. Alright, folks, gather around because today we are talking about a little copper coin that could change your life. Imagine this. You're rummaging through an old jar of pennies, not expecting much, maybe just enough to grab a cup of coffee. But then, bam! You stumble upon a 1968 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and guess what? That bad boy is worth a mind-blowing $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny worth over $1 million. If that doesn't make you want to check your couch cushions, I don't know what will. Now, before you start tearing apart your house, let me walk you through exactly why this coin is so valuable, how you can spot one, and some crazy stories about people who actually found rare pennies in the wild. And trust me, stick around till the end because I've got a hilarious personal story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin myself. Alright, let's dive in. First things first, let's talk about why the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny is so special. Normally, Lincoln pennies from 1968 should have a little letter under the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But every once in a blue moon, a minting error occurs, and a batch of coins is produced without that crucial mint mark. These errors are incredibly rare, which is why they fetch such high prices at auctions. Now, let's get into the juicy part. How do you know if you have one of these gems? It's simple. Grab a magnifying glass, look at the date on your 1968 penny, and see if there's a mint mark below the year. If there's nothing there, congratulations, you may have just hit the jackpot. But hold your horses. Just because it's missing a mint mark doesn't automatically mean it's worth millions. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. If your penny is crisp, shiny, and has never seen the inside of a vending machine, you're in luck. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC will verify and grade your coin, and if it's in top-notch condition, you could be looking at a payday that would make your bank account smile. Now, you might be wondering, has anyone actually found one of these in circulation? The answer is yes. There have been multiple cases where lucky folks have discovered rare coins in their change. One collector found a similar error penny while going through a roll of coins from the bank. Another lucky guy found one in an old piggy bank his grandmother gave him. Can you imagine that? A dusty old piggy bank turning into $1 million treasure chest. Talk about a family heirloom. Speaking of almost missing out on valuable coins, let me tell you about the time I nearly threw away a valuable penny myself. So there I was, cleaning out my car, and I saw a grimy old penny stuck between the seats. It looked so dull and worn out that I was about to toss it, but something told me to take a closer look. Turns out, it was a wheat penny from 1914. While it wasn't worth $1 million, it was still valued at over $500. Lesson learned. Always check your change before spending it. You never know when you might be holding on to a hidden fortune. So there you have it, folks. The 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that small things can hold big value. If you've got an old coin jar, a drawer full of change, or even a lucky penny in your pocket, it's time to take a closer look. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune and not even realize it. And hey, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips on coins worth money and smart collecting strategies. I post regular videos to help you turn pocket change into serious cash, so don't miss out. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Let's swap stories and maybe help each other spot the next $1,000,000 penny. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that little copper beauty could be worth over $1,000,000? That's right. There's a 1995 Lincoln penny with no mint mark floating around out there, and one just sold for a mind-blowing $1.2 million. If that doesn't make you want to check your pockets right now, I don't know what will. Today, we're diving deep into the details of this rare and valuable penny. How did it become so valuable? What should you look for? And, most importantly, do you have one hiding in your coin jar, waiting to make you rich? Grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's go on a treasure hunt together. Let's start with a quick backstory. The 1995 penny was part of the Lincoln Cent series, which has been around since 1909. Normally, pennies from Philadelphia have no mint mark, but what makes this one special? Well, it turns out there was a rare error during the minting process that created a unique variation. And when collectors get wind of something rare, boom, the value skyrockets. Now, you might be thinking, okay, great, but what exactly am I looking for? I got you. Here's what makes this penny worth a small fortune. First, flip that penny over. If it has a D or S under the date, sorry, it's not the one. The rare one has no mint mark at all. This is the big one. A true 1995 no mint mark penny with a high value has a distinct doubling effect on the words liberty and in God we trust. This error, known as a double die, is what makes this penny so sought after. Even if you have one, its condition plays a huge role in its value. A beat-up, scratched penny might still fetch a decent price, but the pristine, uncirculated ones? That's where the big bucks come in. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, sifting through an old box of coins. I wasn't expecting much, maybe a cool wheat penny or two. But lo and behold, I spotted a 1995 penny with no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I ran home, grabbed my magnifying glass, and started checking for the doubling. Unfortunately, it wasn't the real deal. But for a moment, I felt like I had won the lottery. And that's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know when you might strike gold, or in this case, copper. So, what's the current market looking like? Well, the most recent verified auction sale of this penny hit $1.2 million. That's not pocket change, folks. That's life-changing money. Even lower-grade versions have sold for thousands, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for one. All right, folks, we've covered a lot today. You now know what to look for, why this penny is so valuable, and how one lucky collector walked away with over $1,000,000. Now it's your turn. Check your piggy banks, dig through your couch cushions, and raid that old coin jar. You might just have a hidden fortune waiting for you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin collecting tips and hidden treasure finds. And hey, if you do find a 1995 no mint mark penny, drop a comment below and let us know. Who knows? You might just be the next lucky millionaire. You're rummaging through your couch cushions, looking for a lost remote, and instead, you find a penny. Nothing special, right? Just a regular OL Lincoln Cent. But what if I told you that this little copper coin could be worth a staggering $1.30 million? Yep, you heard that right. A 1998 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is making waves in the coin collecting world, and today, we're going to uncover why this tiny treasure is worth big bucks. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be sprinting to your coin jar like it's Black Friday at a dollar store. All right, let's break it down. The 1998 Lincoln penny is just like any other penny you've seen. Until it isn't. Most pennies from 1998 were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But if you happen to find one without a mint mark, well, congratulations. You just hit the numismatic jackpot. Now, you might be wondering, how does a coin end up without a mint mark? Well, it could be due to a minting error, or even a rare test strike that somehow slipped into circulation. Either way, collectors go absolutely nuts for these kinds of oddities. And when demand skyrockets, so does the price tag. One of these bad boys recently fetched $1.3 million at auction. That's more than some Ferraris, folks. And all for a penny. Literally, so how can you tell if you have one? First things first, grab a magnifying glass, or if you're like me and need reading glasses just to find your reading glasses, get yourself a good zoom on your phone camera. Check just below the date on the coin. If there's no little letter D, S, or P, you might just have something special. But hold on, don't quit your day job just yet. You'll want to get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its legitimacy. Come on, surely I don't have one of these. Well, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was digging through a pile of loose change, looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter. Instead, I found an old, beat-up penny that looked slightly off. I figured, why not? And decided to get it checked out. Turns out, it was a rare error coin worth a few $100. Now, it wasn't $1 million payday, but hey, it paid for a nice steak dinner. And that's more than I can say for most of the pennies in my pocket. So, what's the moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That seemingly worthless coin sitting at the bottom of your junk drawer could be worth more than a house. Make sure to check your coins, and if you find anything interesting, get it appraised. And hey, even if you don't strike it rich, coin collecting is still an amazing hobby that can lead to some pretty fascinating discoveries. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could change your life, or at least your weekend plans, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on another money-making coin tip. Who knows? The next big find could be sitting in your pocket right now. All right, folks, let me ask you a question. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, one tiny, seemingly worthless, copper-colored coin, could make you a millionaire? You'd probably check your pockets right now, wouldn't you? Well, get ready, because today, we're talking about one of the rarest and most valuable pennies out there, the 1992 D-Close AM Lincoln penny. This little guy is worth a whopping $1.4 million. And no, I'm not pulling your leg. Stick around, because I'm going to break down what makes this coin so special, how to identify it, and how you could potentially strike gold with your pocket change. Plus, I've got a wild personal story about a time I thought I hit the jackpot, only to have my dreams crushed in the most embarrassing way possible. So buckle up and let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about why this penny is so valuable. The 1992 D-Close AM Lincoln penny is a rare variety that happened due to a design mix-up at the U.S. Mint. Normally, on Lincoln pennies from 1992, the letters A and M in America are spaced apart. But on this special variety, they are so close together that they're practically hugging. This was actually the design intended for 1993 pennies, but somehow, a few 1992 D coins got the wrong reverse design. And just like that, we have $1 million mistake. Now, you might be thinking, all right, but why does that tiny little design flaw make it so valuable? Great question. It all comes down to rarity. Only a few of these pennies have been discovered, and collectors go absolutely bonkers for rare errors like this. In fact, a well-preserved 1992 D-Close AM penny sold at auction for a mind-blowing $1.4 million. That's a life-changing amount of money, from a coin that most people wouldn't even glance at twice. And that brings me to my personal story. A few years back, I was knee-deep in my coin-hunting phase. I had just learned about the Close AM variety, and I was convinced that I had found one. I mean, I was practically already planning my victory speech. I grabbed my magnifying glass, examined the coin, and sure enough, the A and M looked close together. My heart was pounding. I was seeing visions of a new house, a sports car, maybe even a yacht. I rushed to get it authenticated, only to have the expert look at me and say, this is a regular penny? Talk about heartbreak. Turns out, I had misread the spacing, and my million-dollar dream went up in smoke. But hey, at least I got a good story out of it, right? Now, let's talk about how you can avoid my mistake and actually determine if you have the real deal. Here's what you need to do. Check the date and mint mark. It must be a 1992 penny with a D mint mark below the date, indicating it was struck in Denver. Look at the AM in America. On a close AM variety, the letters should be nearly touching. Compare it to a regular 1992 penny for reference. Inspect the FG initials. The designer's initials, FG, Frank Gasparo, should be slightly closer to the Lincoln Memorial on a genuine close AM penny. Use a magnifying glass. Trust me, you don't want to rely on your naked eye like I did. It could save you from an embarrassing trip to the coin shop. Get it authenticated. If you think you've got one, send it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its authenticity and grade. Now, if you do find one of these bad boys, congratulations, you're officially in the money. Even a worn example can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. And if yours is in pristine condition, well, you might just be the next lucky collector to cash in big time. The incredible, wallet-busting story of the 1992 D-Close AM Lincoln penny. Who would have thought that a tiny design mistake could turn a humble 1-cent coin into a millionaire maker? It just goes to show that treasure is hiding in plain sight. And all it takes is a little knowledge, patience, and a keen eye to strike it rich. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare or valuable coin in your change? Drop a comment below and let's swap some stories. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth money and coin collecting strategies, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to turn pocket change into a fortune. All right, folks, buckle up because today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing, wallet-exploding, history-making coins out there. Imagine finding a penny, yes, a lowly 1-cent coin, and realizing it's worth $1.5 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's real, and it's happened. And today, we're talking about the legendary 1969 D. Lincoln penny with a mint mark that could change your life. So grab your change jar, because by the end of this video, you might just be richer than you think. Now, before we get into the juicy details, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was digging through an old shoebox of coins at my grandpa's house. You know the kind, dusty, full of random pennies, nickels, and a few questionable tokens from places that don't exist anymore. As I was sifting through them, I came across an old, worn penny that looked off. I thought, could this be one of those rare coins people go crazy over? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But it sent me down a rabbit hole of coin collecting, and here we are today, about to talk about a coin that actually could make you a millionaire. So, what makes this 1969 D penny so special? First off, let's talk about the basics. This penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Now, usually, the 1969 D penny is just another penny. You've probably got a few in your couch cushions right now. But here's where it gets wild. There's a rare error variation of this coin that's worth a staggering $1.5 million. That's right, a penny that's worth more than a mansion. This special version has a unique doubling effect on the lettering and the date. Collectors call this a double die variety, and it's one of the most sought-after errors in numismatics. Look at the date. If you see a clear doubling in the numbers, especially in the 1969, that's your first clue. Check the lettering. The words Liberty and In God We Trust should also show strong doubling if it's the real deal. The Denver Mint Mark D should be normal. If the mint mark is doubled, it's not the valuable version. Condition matters. The better the shape, the higher the value. So if you find one, don't go rubbing it on your jeans. Handle it carefully. Now, let's talk money. Why is this coin worth $1.5 million? It all comes down to rarity and demand. Only a few of these coins have ever been found, and collectors will pay big bucks for them. The most expensive one ever sold at auction fetched a jaw-dropping 7 figures. And get this, there are still undiscovered ones out there. That's why people like us are constantly checking our pocket change like treasure hunters. It's not just about the thrill of the find. It's about the possibility that one lucky penny could change everything. So there you have it, my fellow coin enthusiasts. The 1969 D penny, small in size, but massive in value. If you're not checking your spare change after this video, I don't know what to tell you. This little coin proves that treasure isn't always buried in the ground. It might just be sitting in your car's cup holder. Now, if you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and want to learn more about the hidden gems in your pocket, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss my next video, where we uncover even more coins worth serious cash. And hey, if you ever find a rare penny, let me know in the comments. Who knows? You might be the next coin millionaire.